So I was down in Florida. We had a meet and greet in Delray Beach. It was going to be in Palm Beach, but we moved it. And I was in the middle of many people involved in the Trump campaign and running. I'm very excited about the Trump campaign. But what I saw was one of the most optimistic things I've seen in a long time. And that is so many people who, a lot of them self made entrepreneurs or successful entrepreneurs and business people. They are breaking away from the old paradigms. The the model is shifting and change is accelerating. And if you
Yeah,
look at the changes being contemplated, some of them are terrifying, some of them are excellent. That's why I say the real campaign begins now because it's the breakaway positive or negative, but everybody feels the existing order melting underneath their feet and they're shifting.
yeah,
And I'm starting to see a desire for an accurate map from people with real knowledge, real resources who can really change things. It's very exciting. Here's what was very interesting to me. When the Council on Foreign Relations published their story in Foreign Affairs that was pro Trump several weeks before Butler Mania, I said to you, it looks to me like the Rockefeller and Rothschild factions have agreed that Trump's their man to sell the control grid.
right.
And if you look at how
Yep.
the whole election played out, that's exactly the message because you had the Republican machinery behind Trump, and that's not going to happen unless you have both factions on board. I mean, they didn't have the Rockefeller faction on board. To me, it looks like they did. That's a guess, but I think it's a pretty good guess. And the only difference between what we said when we read that Foreign Affairs article and what happened is you threw Kennedy and his team in the mix, which had the um, which had the effect, I think, of making Trump palatable to many people who normally wouldn't feel he was palatable. You throw in Kennedy and Kennedy's ability to bring in Rogan and all these other people, and that's to me has made a big difference. Obama was a poodle. He was a creature of the machine.
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Trump, has been bullied and is much more controlled by the machine than he was in 2016. But he's not a poodle. That's not
No,
his
no, 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 he is not.
right. He's not
No.
a poodle. Now, the strength of Trump and his team is Jack Ma, my favorite quote from Jack Ma is when trade stops, war starts. And one of the greatest qualities about Trump is he much prefers to trade. He's like,
Yeah.
why should we have a war when we can make money together? You
Right.
know, he's New
Right.
York. He's not Washington. You
Yeah.
know, fighting is stupid. Let's cut a deal, end the fight, go back to making money together.
He's New York. He's not Pentagon.
That's right. Remember in the 2016 election, John, so I wrote an article called The Productivity Backlash. And what I said was that there are two factions. The Trump faction wants to cannibalize the empire to protect the United States. And the Democratic faction wants to cannibalize the United States to protect the empire.
Yeah. Right. Right.
And to a certain extent, that's the dynamic we're still looking at.
Yeah.
So the question is, okay, will Trump and his team, first of all, will he get the freedom fighters in, not the control grid? And second of all, will they operationalize that vision sincerely?
Yeah. I think my money's on the my money's on the control grid. Are you kidding me?
Well, I think it's unbelievably important for Solari Report subscribers and our audience to see the different segments of the control grid and hold their feet to the fire. So Trump Trump and the Republicans have been trying to sell digital ID by saying it solves election fraud, by saying it solves
Yeah. Right.
immigration. That's all a bunch of
Right.
BS. We need to hold their feet to the fire. If they try and take the financial system all digital, we need to hold their feet to the fire. So that's why I say the campaign starts today. Let's just mention one thing that Congress and the executive branch can do. They can bring transparency, right?
Amen, sister.